invite to close your eyes as you start to take some deep breaths, opening up from the inside out. And notice how those first couple of big breaths feel in your body. You can sigh it out. Bring your hands down by your sides, give them a shake. You can open your eyes, blink your eyes open, look around. And then we'll start to take some movements. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Maybe not all the way at first, and then floating the arms down. As it feels good, coming up higher. Big breaths, opening up through the whole body. Inhale, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, floating the hands down, chin to chest. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, floating the hands down, chin to chest. Inhale, reaching up. And then bring your hands down. Grab the seat of your chair. Keep your chin by your chest, and then tip your head in the opposite direction. So I'm holding onto my chair with my right hand and tipping my head over to the left. Using this hold to kind of stretch down through the shoulder, maybe even into the bicep or deltoids of your arm. And then come back to center gently. Hook your hand around the other side of your chair. Tip your head to the other side. Stretching through the neck and maybe down into the shoulder. And come back to center. Lift your chin up. We're going to do the same thing, but just at a different angle. So now grabbing the chair with one hand, letting the other hand dangle as you tip your head over to the side. Slowly come back to center. Grip your hand over the other side of your chair and tip, stretching through the neck and the shoulder, maybe down into your upper arm. And come back to center. Pause and take a breath. And then take some shoulder circles, one shoulder lifting up and back at a time. We'll just do a few here. And then reverse direction, bring your shoulders forward. Good. Reach your arms out to the side, flipping your hands so that your thumbs come forward and down. The backs of your hands are facing forward, maybe up a little bit. And then bring your hands either to your hips. You could put your fists on your hips, or see if you can slide your hands behind your low back a little bit. And sit up nice and tall, feel the stretch in your shoulders. And release. Let your hands come down. You can shake them out. We're going to do that again. So reach your arms out to the sides. And then flip your thumbs forward and down as you now bring your hands, either fists to your hips, or if you can go a little further, sliding the backs of your hands behind your low back. Maybe touching your fingers. Maybe you can even cross one palm over the other behind you. Sit up nice and tall. And release. Shake them out. And we'll do one more neck and shoulder movement. Let's bring those shoulders up to the ears. Remember, pick your angle if you want your head to be straight up, or if you want to tuck your chin a little bit, feel free. And then very slowly let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Trying to smooth out the bumpy spots. Pause when they get to the bottom. Registering that this is where you want your shoulders to be in your everyday life. And then go ahead and lift those shoulders up again. Hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, maybe even more. And then slowly melt your shoulders away from your ears. last inch or two and hold, and then release the rest of the way. Pause at the bottom. Remember, that's the most important part. And then lift your shoulders up. Hold them maybe a little bit longer this time. Just engaging those muscles in your shoulders and neck. And now slow and smooth, releasing. If there's a bumpy spot, go back up and do that spot again. So maybe just lifting them back up an inch or two and redoing it. Release all tension down from your shoulders and notice your low back, notice your belly. See if you can kind of let go a little bit in your torso. Take another breath. And then bring your hands out in front, spreading your fingers wide, straightening your elbows, and then make bicep curls, clenching your fists, pulling your fists in, and open up wide, making fists, bicep curls, open up wide, stretching, make fists and bicep curls, and one more time, open up wide, and then make those fists. Now bring just your fingertips to your shoulders, and bring your elbows close together. And then opening them up wide, pulling your elbows back, bringing your elbows close together, maybe to touch. Open them up wide. And one more time, elbows to touch. And open. Pull your elbows back and release your arms. Let's take a few more shoulder circles. So maybe a little bit more movement here if it feels good, lifting those elbows, or maybe reaching the arms up and back. Feel this movement through your torso. Let your torso move or shift a little side to side. Really warming up the shoulders and arms, and then bring your arms down and we'll go the opposite direction, forward. Oh, nice. Maybe lifting the elbows, swimming forward. Bring your hands down. Bring your hand over to your opposite thigh to kind of hang on to that thigh and reach the other arm up and over. Maybe even bringing your fingertips to the side of your head, supporting the side of your head. And then inhale, sweeping your arm down, cross it over to your opposite thigh, reach the other arm up and over. And maybe fingertips come to the side of your head as you take this nice side stretch. And sweep your arm down. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Pulling your elbows back, creating some tension between your shoulder blades. Okay, not so much that there's pinching or pain. Think about melting the shoulder blades out as you bring your hands down to your knees, chin to chest, and letting all of that tension go through your shoulder blades. So we're in kind of a mini cat, more of an upper body cat position. And then inhale, sitting up, reaching up. Let's do that one more time. Pull those elbows back, creating tension between the shoulder blades, a little lift of the chin, and then melting out of that position. This time come into a full cat, rounding the whole spine, tipping your hips back, chin to chest, maybe even just relaxing your arms for a moment, really slouching down. Inhale, lifting up to cow, pulling the elbows and shoulders back as you lean your heart forward. Exhale, rounding into cat, chin to chest, pulling your belly in. And then lifting up to cow, slow, smooth transition back and forth. And then rounding into cat. And lifting up to cow. Nice, release. So reaching the arms up one more time. Opening up to one side. Bring your front hand to your opposite knee. Back arm can rest beside you or over your chair. Allowing your body to adjust to this twist. Looking over to the side and then maybe looking further back. And reaching with your eyes. Doing your eye yoga. Looking around through your peripheral vision slowly. Keep your body here. Just turn your head to look forward over your front shoulder. And then tip your chin down, feeling that neck stretch. Lift your chin up and look off to the side again. Slowly unwind, reaching your arms up to center. And open up to the other side. Front hand to your opposite knee. Back arm rests beside you or over your chair. Looking off to the side or maybe further back with your eyes. And you can blink or kind of scrunch your eyes and then open them wide. Turn just your head to look forward over the other shoulder. If your shoulders feel like they're really creeping up, try to bring them down. Tip your chin down towards your shoulder. Notice where you feel the stretch. Lift your chin and turn your head to the side. Slowly unwind, come back to center. And cactus your arms, bring your hands to heart center. And we're going to do a light squeeze with the hands. If you have a block, you could grab that and place it between your knees. So we're going to strengthen both the arms and the inner thigh muscles. And just a light squeeze, pressing everything in and feeling that lift up through the crown of your head. Breathing and release. And you can let your knees come in and out to release that tension. We'll do that 2 more times. Longer holds, maybe up to 7 seconds or so. And then pressing the knees and the hands together. Even think about pressing your fingertips together. And release. Allow those knees to come in and out. Maybe rub your legs. Take a deep breath, and we're going to do it 1 more time. So only go as hard as you can and to the point where you can keep holding it. So pressing your knees in, pressing your palms together. Really thinking about the energy going up. Breathing. If you feel tired, take another deep breath. And release. Ooh, good. Nice. You can let those knees come in and out a few times. And step your feet out a little bit wider. Placing your hands on your knees, rocking forward and back a few times. Releasing some of that tension, stretching the inner thighs. Bring your feet closer together. Extend one leg out a couple of times. Notice how your knee is feeling. And then point and flex your foot. You can always rest your heel on a block. Take some ankle circles. Make sure you're sitting up tall. And the other direction. If you have any foot issues going on, do 30 ankle circles in each direction every day. And 20 pointing and flexing. Step your foot down and try the other side, kicking your foot out and back a couple of times. And then hold your foot out there, point and flex. ankle circles, and the other direction. Good, step your foot down. Let's do our hip circles. So bring your one knee side to side. If that's feeling good, take your hip circles, lifting your knee up and around. And the other direction. And side to side, maybe up higher. Ooh, it's feeling warm. Place your foot down. If you want to give your knee a massage underneath, feel free to do that. And then pick your knee up, kick your foot out a couple of times. And then grab your shin and lift your leg up as high as you can, really keeping that mobility and flexibility. Then cross your ankle over your knee, or you can always bring, you can cross your legs like this or cross at your ankles if needed. So take the time to massage your calf or your foot. And little by little, you might be able to lean further forward for a deeper figure four stretch. You could always rest on a bolster or blocks. Maybe a little lean into one side or the other here. And some deep breaths. On your inhale, sitting up, you can rock your legs side to side. Step your foot down. Kick your foot out, release that tension in your knee, and over to the other side. Knee moves side to side a few times, so test it out, and then start with some hip circles. Using your hip muscles as much as you can. And reversing direction. Zigzagging side to side. Place your foot down, and you can take that under the knee massage, eventually picking your knee up and kicking your foot out a couple of times. And then hug your shin closer, sitting up nice and tall. Placing your ankle over your knee or crossing your legs or your ankles. Massaging wherever you need it today. Little by little, leaning forward as that feels good. And again, maybe a little rock side to side feels good, or maybe just staying in stillness here. This gets down into the low back and down into the hip, kind of the back and maybe the side of the hip a little bit. And then inhale, rising up, rock your leg. Loosening it up, step your foot down, kick it out. Nice. All right, so let's take a forward fold, and you might want your feet hip width distance apart, although you can change this up if you want your feet closer together or even farther apart. Scooching back in your chair and leaning forward to the point where maybe your elbows just come to your knees to notice if that's deep enough. The other thing here that is nice if you happen to have a pillow or a yoga bolster handy is placing that underneath to rest over that. If you want to go further down, sliding your hands down your shins towards your feet. And you can also rest your hands on blocks here. You could stack them up so that, it's just at that right level for you. Maybe your chin comes towards your chest. And using those deep breaths and long exhales to help release tension layer by layer. Feel free to stay here longer, another breath or two, or rise when you're ready. And then first bringing the elbows to the knees, just to transition so that in case we're lightheaded, that's not a problem. And you get a drink at this point. You can kind of shift a little side to side, just noticing how your low back is feeling. And let's take a few of our stand-up sit-downs. It could be with hands on knees or hands on the chair. I'm going to do that one. So this hands on the chair would be more of an arm workout, and it will help you if your knees are painful. I'm just kind of pressing away from the chair and lowering back into it. Or if your hands don't like that, then you just keep your hands on your knees, rising and sitting back down. So eventually we'll go to standing, but make sure that that is right for you. It feels good. When you do, you can rock a little side to side. Make sure your legs are ready to move. And come over to the back of your chair or to a table. And what I'd like to try, so make sure you feel really stable and supported, is stepping to one side and reaching the other arm up and over for a bit of a side stretch. So of course the elbow could be bent. You could also bring the arm to your shoulder if reaching it up is too much. And then make sure you can hang on to your chair. So ideally it would be right in front of you. So you can hang on, step into the other leg, and do a nice big side stretch. And come back to center. So this is balance, it's stretching, but it's stretching this whole side of our body down to those hips that we're talking about. So let's try it one more time. So leaning into that 1 foot side stretch, hanging on to your chair. See if you can feel it down to your hip area. Low back. And come back to center, rest, and to the other side. And when you're finished, coming back to center, you can put your hands either on the back of your chair or on the seat of your chair. I'm going to do that today. As you step 1 foot back and get a good stretch in your legs. The foot that's in front, you can bend and straighten that knee, really changing up this stretch for both legs. And noticing if you want to hold it in one position or keep it moving. And we'll switch feet. Bring the other foot forward. The further you step back, the deeper the stretch will be. And again, that front knee can bend and straighten several times as you ease into either holding the stretch with your front knee bent or with your front knee straight or straighter. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. balanced out, and bringing your feet together. And bring your feet out a little bit wider. Your hands can be still on the back of your chair or on the seat of your chair for this. And we'll sweep one arm up and open up to the side. You could also bend your elbow. Bring your hand back to the chair and sweep the other arm up and opening. And sweep your hand back down to the chair. Feel free on your way down to the ground to take a forward fold, maybe resting your forearms on the chair, allowing your head to hang down. So wherever you're at, we will go down to the floor. Come on down to your back in whatever way is best for you. You can have your knees bent and planted on the floor, or hug your knees, and either way, rock side to side. Just adjusting to being on the floor, or take any other movements that feel good here. And then see if you can take a long body stretch. Either your knees can stay bent to do this, or straighten your legs if that feels okay. Big stretch, pointing your toes, stretching your fingers wide. Sweep your arms down by your sides, bend your knees, planting your feet on the floor. Let's take a few of our pelvic tilts. So really focusing mostly on flattening the low back, kind of pulling the belly in. The tailbone lifts off the ground slightly, and then releasing that tension and just relaxing through the low back and the pelvis. So we'll try that again. Flattening the low back, pulling the belly in. You can even place your hands on your belly. Slight engagement, and slowly release. Let's do that one more time, flattening the low back, pulling the belly in. Little bit of a press through the feet into the ground as you do that. And release. And then bring your right knee towards your chest. You can gently hug it in, point and flex your foot. Extend your leg up toward the ceiling. You can grab behind your knee. It can be straight or bent. And take some ankle circles. The other direction. And then see if you can guide your leg out to the side, opening up, bringing in that inner thigh stretch, and you can rest your leg in your hand, or if you have a couch nearby like I do, you can rest your leg on that. And then bring your leg back to center, step your foot down. So bring your other knee to your chest, hug it in, and you can point and flex your foot. Extend your leg up toward the ceiling, grabbing behind your knee, taking some ankle circles. And the other direction. And then guide your leg out to the side. You can support it with your hand or let it come down just wherever it feels good. Breathing. And then eventually bring your leg back up and step your foot down. Press your weight into your feet as you slowly lift your hips up. You can stay right here with it, or maybe reach your arms up overhead, reaching all the way back to the floor. Take a deep breath. Slowly sweep your arms down and lower your hips very slowly. And release all tension, rock your knees side to side. Bring your knees back to center. And then let's do legs up in the air. So you can place your fingers just under your hips and bring your legs, either you can have your knees bent here or you can straighten your legs. And another option here would be if your couch is nearby, you can always place your feet up on the couch or a chair. An inversion. You can point and flex your feet or take any foot movements that feel good. And then if it would feel good, so go ahead and take your hands out. Take some little bicycle movements here. And I like to do a countdown, so you can do it out loud in your own space at home, but starting with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then resting and taking another long body stretch because now it feels so good. To just let everything go and relax. And then sweep your arms down by your sides, bend your knees, plant your feet, and come over to one side. Take a moment here, just pause. And just notice how you're feeling. Extend your top leg long as you press yourself up to seated. Walking your hands forward, and that could just be, this might be as far as you go. If you can, go deeper. If your blocks are nearby, you can always rest your elbows on the blocks and maybe bring your chin to your chest. Notice where you feel the stretch. Take some deep breaths into your low back or wherever your body is feeling the most tense. And then walk your hands over to one side. So you're folding over one knee or leg. And then walk your hands over to the other side. You might notice that one side's tighter than the other. And come back to center. Pull in through your low belly as you sit up nice and tall.